Hello and welcome, fellow girls, guys and gaming fans. I'm Small Archangel. Thank you for joining me for this tour of my Vault 88 in Fallout 4. It's been a while since I've done a Fallout 4 video. In fact, I haven't done one since the game first came out a couple of years ago now. This is one of the few games I play by myself, for myself, and don't find particularly suitable for doing gaming Let's Play series on. But I did want to show you guys and give you a tour of my new base. Anybody who's familiar with my channel will know that I love the whole creative building thing in games. Basically, give me a free hand in creative mode, enable me to build something, and I'm away. I'm happy as Larry, and I will happily put hours and hours into it. So for anyone who is or indeed isn't familiar with this DLC, it's my favourite DLC of the entire game, and that is largely because it gave me the opportunity to build my own vault.
And not out there.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. He's one of my security staff. And I am, of course, overseer of Vault 88, so as such I will give you a bit of a tour. But before I do, I know there's a couple of people, or quite a lot of people actually, who didn't really approve of this DLC, didn't think that it was sort of appropriate or whatever. I mean, personally, I think it's great because the whole point of Fallout ever since the beginning has been vaults. It's all been based around vaults, but this is the first time we've actually been able to make our own and have one that's not completely trashed and full of ghouls or raiders. And so that's been really quite epic. There's the odd vault where there's people living in it, but the chance to build your own and use it as a settlement, I just couldn't resist the challenge, really. So this opening area here, anybody who's got the DLC will know there's very little you can do to change here, and in point of fact, it's a nightmare to even try and get power out here to light it up, which is why it's so dingy. Fear not, the rest of the vault ain't this dingy. The rest of it is much better lit, and basically Bethesda seem to have struggled to get power to this area, which means if they can't do it, how the heck are we supposed to? I'm not sure. I did it with various mods. By the way, if you want to know what mods I used in this video, or rather in the making of this vault, I'll include a list in the description, hopefully with links. They're all off the Nexus. So this is the opening area, pretty much as in the vanilla game, or as in the DLC at least. And you can see our primary workshop. Now, I have not made a particularly epic vault here. It's actually fairly modest in size, and I am glad of this. It's quite a sprawling cave system that we're given in the DLC, in point of fact. Yeah, I'm quite glad I didn't use all of it. You could if you wanted to, but it's quite difficult to integrate all of it and make all of it within a vault, because certain areas of the cave are too big, are too small rather, to fit some of the tunnels or what have you in. So I decided to just stay within the main area. This is the reactor room, which I've tidied up a bit, but otherwise left pretty much the same. I could place another one of those vault reactors in here if I wanted to, but I decided I didn't really want to. So far so good. I haven't actually needed one. Mostly what I'm lacking is beds. I've got nearly 30 settlers here at the moment, which is pretty cool, plus one Brahmin. Oh, and one child. I'd like some more children, but I don't think any more are actually very likely to show up. So let's go on and check out my my setup here. Hello, Overseer. Thank you. They're very polite, these people. I really haven't changed this room from the vanilla that much either. This basically, there's a couple of things here you can't shift anyway. I've got a Vault-Tec management terminal there, and I've got a security chair here, which means that that's one of many security posts I've got. I've lost track of how many security personnel I've got. Could look it up on the security, the Vault management system, of course. Not sure I can be bothered right now. So, as I say, not used the entire area of the vault, of the cave. Mainly, I've just concentrated on this principal cave area here, which you can see I've made into a 3-story vault, plus atrium ceiling, which goes up about as high as it's possible to go. Got some pretty cool lighting effects on the ceiling there from this globe sculpture I put straight in the middle here. So this is kind of like the town square. I've got some institute benches here. I've lost track slightly of which things I can use thanks to a mod and which things I can't. I'm fairly sure these benches here, however, are not open to us in the vanilla, so I think they're in SOE or something like that. I also use Homemaker, which is a very popular building mod. And so there you can see it looks pretty impressive from this angle. So I spent hours and hours in this first area, and particularly just trying to learn how to use the mod, how to use the DLC rather in the first place, because it's not exactly intuitive, and try to piece together all of the bits. There's all this stuff here. Mostly what you can see are atrium pieces, and then you've got domestic pieces of various other pieces which often don't want to snap to one another at all. So I had some frustrating moments, but got there in the end. So you can see pretty well lit in here, actually, not bad at all. This is our first level. As I say, it's on 3 levels, and then we've got a couple of bits kind of sticking off in various directions. This is our atrium level, so as well as the main square here, and I've got some various bits of what would you call them, utilities here. I've got a couple of porta diners, or one on this level. I've got another on another level, I think. I've got a couple of Etotronics. I've got a couple of water coolers, and a couple of vending machines as well. Again, some of these available in the vanilla, some require DLC, some require mods, and most of them require you to have fairly high levels. My character's level 75 at this point, I think, so she's quite high level and can therefore craft quite a lot of stuff. So we've got a Nuka-Cola machine there, and we've got a Vim machine over the other side there. Then this is the level I've got all my shops on, and also a gym. Now the Vault-Tec DLC also comes with, hello? Okay, we have a slight bug there. I'm assuming that is like one of my children or something. That might be a child on there, which means I can't see it. Either that or I have a ghost in my vault. That has never happened before, folks. That's quite creepy. You saw it first here. Actually, if you've got bugs, you possibly didn't see it first here. This is my gym. I have one guy assigned to the power benches. The power cycles. And then you'll be amazed once after hours how many of my NPCs decide that they're gonna pump a bit of iron here. Oh my word. Oh my goodness, I've got literally 3 benches now who have ghosts on them. I've never seen that before. That's quite odd. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there, but for the moment I'm going to try and ignore it. I've never seen that before, folks. Mostly I get actual NPCs in here, so I do hope that's not a side thing going Pete Tong, because that would be terrible, wouldn't it? So this is my gym. Gets very crowded in here after hours, but as you can see, the time currently 10:20 AM. Everyone should be at work, apart from the ghosts, obviously. So work-wise, most people work in the stores or in the farm. We've got the odd person wandering around here. So we have our gym at that end. We have weapons, armor, and clothing store here, which is quite a large store. We have weapons at this end. We have armor at that end, and we have Anne Hargreaves.
On some wonderful radio plays. You should listen sometime.
Yeah, except that now you're my clothing store manager, but there you go. That's Anne Hargreaves from WCVCR Radio, or something along those lines. I can't remember. Anyway, so that's our main sort of store that deals with most things. On the opposite side, I do have a general store. Basically, the more stores you can place in your settlement, the higher your overall happiness is likely to be. I have not hit 100, but I'm about 90. I oscillate between about 89 and 90 here, so not bad at all.
Honest to goodness vault dweller.
Yeah, and now you are, so go you. So this is my general store here. And then I have my barber here, of course. Again, we got a couple of barbers here. All of these things do add to overall vault happiness, so that's pretty nice. I particularly like these kind of medical sort of spotlight things for my my barber stations. That's kind of cool. So that's my barbers, and then I have my surgery here, which is quite comprehensive. I have, yeah, it looks like my clinic vendor is currently away from his station, but he is there normally. And then we have this lovely girl who's in charge of the Phoropter prototype. Now, in the Vault-Tec DLC, there are 4 items that you can craft, and I went for the goody TED option in every case. People who've got the DLC will know what I mean there. Basically, stuff that I tweaked to be as happiness inducing as possible. So this is basically the optometrist kind of bit of kit here. Never see any of my vault dwellers availing themselves of that, but I can gain myself some perception, is it, by using it myself, so it's kind of worth having. And then of course my surgery bench there, and I've even got a little med bay there, so I could actually use that, or I can, you know, one of my my vault dwellers could assign themselves to it if they were really running out of beds, which happens quite often. And then I've got my security post here, and I've got a female security guard on at the moment, but generally speaking, there's a bunch of them. I've got some female, some male. I am an equal opportunities employer here. And then we have hydroponics down this fairly long corridor. So this is one of the sub-caves. It's a northeast sector down this way, so I had to make quite a long corridor and some stairs going down a slope, but it all worked out rather less painfully than I thought, in point of fact.
My power armor, and I'll take on the world.
Except I got you out of your power armor, didn't I, Dance? So Dance is in here as well. He's my favourite companion. And this has got a cave for a ceiling because it's a tad low for Atrium pieces. But other than that, this is my garden. You can see I've got lots of happy vault dwellers working in here.
You're one hell of a soldier. You know that?
Thank you very much, Dance. They're all so nice to me. It's lovely. And my crops are well cared for by all of these. I've got them oversubscribed, overassigned, if anything, and they're all very kind of tidy as well, so I like to think this is a pleasant place to come and work too. Meanwhile, we've got some doors here as well, so we can lead to the rest of the cave. I've even got
out here representing the Brotherhood.
Thank you, Dance. We've even got some of these really hyper-cool vault doors, which I'm very fond of. Look at that. That is epic. They also come along with the Vault DLC, but they're actually quite difficult to find. I think they're somewhere in miscellaneous and not in with doors or structures or anything. They're quite difficult to find. And then the rest of my caves go off in that direction. You can see why I didn't bother trying to build into there, because really there's nothing is small enough to go through there. So basically you have to abandon your vault path anyway.
Then there's everything else. Nothing in between.
Eventually, everybody yattering on does start getting on your pip a little bit, I have to admit. Having a place full of people, you never get any peace and quiet. So I've got 2 doors leading out to the caves from there. I never opened up the 2 extra entrances to the vault because I didn't want raids to happen from there, so I deliberately left those blocked. And then we have our workshop off in this direction, and you can see another security guard standing there. I've placed little security mats all over the place so they can patrol the place with their guns. I quite like them, actually. I think they're quite cool. This is basically my workshop area, so I've got it glammed up with a few bits of shelving and what have you. I use a nice shelving mod, again, links in the description, and some stuff I collected randomly from around the place, including, particularly, I've used this vault for anything I've found that's clean, untarnished, undamaged, etc. I've shoved it in here. So I've got my chem bench here, of course. I've got a bunch of console-y type stuff. All the stuff I found when I moved in here with all these, I just bunged it all on shelves, all these vault crates. I've got my weapons bench, my armor bench, of course, and then a power armor station, though I am not a keen user of power armor, so I don't tend to worry about that too much. And then here again, I've got another vault door, which is what she's doing there. That's why I've got a security mat there, just in case of raiders. But I am well... Let me just put my light on here. We aren't very well lit up out here, but I am well defended here. You can see I've got a spotlight there, and I've also got a laser turret. And then down here, you can see I've got a big bit of vault there, which I might just have to put an external dormitory in, just because I keep running out of beds, let's say. And then I've got some more spotlights and some more... Uh-oh, did I get myself stuck? No, thank heaven for that. More spotlights, more stuff there. So I've got a really good security rating at this point. It's high enough to cover food plus vault dwellers, and I think that's what it really requires. So there we go. We'll shut those doors up again. There we are. So this is my working area, the one that I tend to use a lot. And then there's only one other area down here that we really need to check out, and that is one that I again just made, going off in the direction of one of the former train tunnels that leads out towards our... And there's another vault door you can see there as well. And I've got a Brahmin, and I use a retexture for the Brahmin because I didn't like the way they look. This one looks more like a Jersey cow and is far, far, far more cute. So we've a gate here. I've put a little bit of greenery in the joint as well, and a bit of a modded Brahmin trough as well. Hello. See, they look so much nicer like that, don't they? And a Brahmin trough actually looks like a Brahmin trough as opposed to a manky old bathtub, which is what I like here in my vault as well. I have tried as much as possible. I've still got my light on. Some of these are a little bit fuzzy. That's because I use mod pause to position them, and I only just positioned them. So sorry if they're doing your eyes in. If I loaded back into the game, that would no longer be the case. I know this from experience. So that is my livestock area there. Door. There we go. And as you can see, I've got little signs telling me where everything is, or rather telling all my vault dwellers where everything is. I know where everything is because I put it there.
Flowers, put brighten this place up.
Yeah, well, I tried. You see, I've got some rose bushes there. So this is the patio area outside of the cafe. And as you can see, I have tried to brighten the place up really quite a lot. I'm very pleased with the way my E and B does have a very strong doff, which I like, but under circumstances like this, not particularly helpful for showing the view. So we've got some nice little tables here, which my vault dwellers do avail themselves of. And then we've got Diamond City Radio on, so Travis is talking over me as well. We have a fair few sort of stores in here as well. I've got my drink store, my food store, and then of course I've got my soda fountain there, which greatly adds to settlement happiness as well. And all my settlers again like to crowd in here at the end of the working day. So there we are. And I've modded, or rather not me personally, but I have a mod which means that we can play Diamond City Radio via the jukebox, which is kind of nice actually, because classical music just doesn't quite seem to fit through a jukebox really. There we go. I'm not sure if I turned it on or off just then really, but there you go. Okay, we then going around to our left. This is basically level 2. This is basically the leisure level. So we've got all our shops on the lower floor. This is the bar. This is Clem's bar. Guess why? There's Clem. Huh? After Clem had finished being tortured by Overseer Barstow, who I sent away with a flea in her ear. Actually, she stormed out, let's face it. I've got my slot machines activated to really make my settlers happy, so it probably cost me a heap load of money, but they're happy, so what do I care? Clem's bar, the coolest place to hang out at the end of the working day, and obviously I've got my bar sort of set up here, so that's a sort of a bar register there as well. Yes. Again, thanks to a mod. I hope you're not stuck there, Mr. Security Guard, behind my bar stools. And then if we go a bit further in this direction, we'll see we've got some bathrooms with showers. We've got toilet stalls on that side, and we've got showers on that side, and we've got sinks, of course. Then we've got some shelves with some supplies there, thanks to a shelving mod. But the most cool thing about these showers is you can use them. Yeah, and my NPCs can very much use them as well. I walked into here the other day hearing some strange trickling noises, and there was an NPC in the shower, which was slightly surprising but quite pleasing at the same time. Then we're going to go in the opposite direction. As I say, I've tried to make this as pleasant a vault as possible because above all else, I wanted this vault to not be like your average Vault-Tec vault. No dodgy experiments here, just happy vault dwellers. I know, it doesn't sound real, does it? This is the lounge. So I've got a pool table with a full set of balls. Don't ask how long it took to collect those. Mostly, I looted them off ghouls. We've got a house stereo, which is that's from another mod as well, which we can play radio through if we want to, but I find generally if I've got a couple of them activated, it's quite loud enough around here. And then we've got a nice Nice gossiping again. And then we've got a fireplace in here, which also adds to happiness. And it's just nice and comfy and cozy, basically. So that's our lounge. I don't find that my that my settlers use that very much, really. But there we go. Here we go. I don't know where my teacher's gone. She's done a bunk, which is not clever, is it? And that's my one child settler. Hello. I wish I could rename him. I wish I could rename all my settlers, but there are mods, but unfortunately they tend to be a little bit bugsy, so I tend not to use them too much. I do have a settler assigned to be a teacher, but she's here some of the time and then just leaves him to his own business the rest of the time, which isn't ideal. So that is my schoolroom. So we have a schoolroom there, which I don't reckon I'll fill. I'm not going to get that many kids in there, let's face it. Just 2 or 3 would do, and that's all I can really manage to fit in here anyway, because I haven't got that many kids' beds. And then I've got some kitchens here in case my vault dwellers fancy a bit of self-catering, or indeed in case I want to, because we've got some crafting cookers here. Cookers we can actually use. Again, I love mods. And a modular kitchen mod, which enabled me to put this nice sort of fairly clean, sparkling kitchen in here as well, with some items in, or decorative items, as well as you can see I've got some things stocked up in here. So I've got my meat in there, I've got my veg in there, and I've got some cooked food in here and canned goods and all the rest of it as well. So I've got lots of food and stuff in here, and some decorative items, and I've made a little laundry through here as well. This is just me being RP. There we go. I found some pure and undamaged Abraxo, had to go in here. And these are the washing machines and the dryers, which you're supposed to be able to access, but I can't. Hey ho. They must have bugged out slightly, I'm not sure, but they're here just for fun anyway, along with all this stuff here. So you can imagine, if you want to be RP, this is where all the cleaning products go, this is where people do their laundry, etc. So that's all cool. I just felt like my vault wasn't complete without this, really. Then we'll head on up to the 3rd floor, which, as you can see, showers, restrooms, residential. This is where everybody sleeps. So we've got another bathroom in here, this time a little bit bigger. There's a bath there. Yes, it can be used. It can also be set to private, so you can't. So you can stop your settlers from using it if you want them not to use it. But as it happens, this is public, this is for them to use, so I want them to use it. I just wish I could set my bed to private, because I'm sick of finding somebody else in it. There are mods, but not if you want a vault bed. And in a vault, really, I do want a vault bed. So, residential up here. This is the nursery. We've got 3 kids' beds. This one is assigned. The others don't have pillows because these come from a mod, which means that without pillows they can't be assigned. So I've taken the pillows off to stop adults from sleeping in them, because hello Jesse, because they don't they don't really fit the kiddie beds that well. And then you can see I've got Pride and Joy, a completed giddy up Buttercup in here, and a load of toys and stuff that I've collected and just shoved around. Few little cots here as well. Slightly cleaned up version of sort of Sean's crib that we've got that I've built in here as well. Again, thank you mods. So a nice comprehensive nursery, though we're a bit on the empty side, if you ask me, but I'm doing my best to sort of fill that one way or another. And then this is one of the nicer dorms. I have a great big dorm with tons of, sort of very workaday bunk beds in, which is where most of my my harvesters live. Oh, I've got... Yeah, I thought I'm missing something there. Look, spot the odd one out. There's no Vault 88 trunk there, which I've forgotten to place, but never mind. Apart from that, we've got a bunch of beds in here. And it's sort of more private quarters. My teacher and my medics all bunk down in here, as well as some of my storekeepers. As I say, this is where most of my workaday citizens sleep. The problem with these bunk beds is that you can only fit a settler on the bottom of the bunks, not on the top. I don't know if a mod is available to allow them to sleep on the top, but they can't get to the top, so I guess that's the main problem there. But my beds would be virtually doubled if they could use the top bunks as well. So there you go, that's a problem I have. Maybe I'll look into see if there's a mod that'll fix that. And then here we have yet more residential. These even more, a little bit more exclusive here. So I've used some of the sort of more luxurious rooms available via, again, a mod, which I think is called More Vault Rooms. And then, yeah, some more of them in here as well. I believe all these beds are assigned. So that is the residential zone. And there are lots and lots of beds. I think I've got 45 beds, I think, including my own. So now we're going to go down and we're going to check out. There he is. I don't know what you're doing, pal. You're away from your post. They're terrible for that. And then we're going to go to my quarters because I am the overseer of Vault 88. So this is the overseer's quarters. So we have got a large, I believe this is an institute table here. But I thought it would look good as a big kind of conference table meeting area, which I thought was exactly what you really need in your vault quarters there. And I've got a vault overseer sort of window here so we can see out, except that, yeah, my doff makes everything blur. Normally I love doff. In here, can get in the way a bit. And I've got a nice sort of map of Vault 88 before I built it. You can see pretty much everything is in construction site A there. Yeah, there is in any case no map sort of covering construction sites B and C, presumably that's what they're actually called. And there, of course, is my Vault Overseer's desk, which I've stuck a cup of coffee on and a little microphone in case I want to make any announcements around the vault, etc. So that is the downstairs part. Of course, we also have my personal quarters, which are above the Overseer's office, which is here, and the only access to these is this private staircase that I have here. And here we are. Not ever so light in here. I've got my own little bathroom with a toilet that can be used, which is set to private, with a shower that can be used but which is set to private, and with a sink that you can drink out of to sort of with pure water to improve your health. So using the showers even comes with animations, but just in case anybody's offended by nude bodies, I won't be using that. Also, we've got a cooking microwave that we can use here as well, which works basically like a cooking crafting station. And then a nice little living area there. I've put a few of my magazines that I found on the coffee table and some other clutter around the place. I do love clutter. And then my bed's here, and thankfully there isn't a vault dweller in it, but there usually is. I have to sort of keep trying to assign them to other beds. But at this rate, I'm going to be building a slum somewhere in my vault because I get some random bed somewhere in a cave system just because I cannot fit any more vault dwellers. And they keep coming. So that's kind of aggravating. I've also got my own personal Vault-Tec population management system there. Plus a nice non-Vault-Tec calendar there, though it is still set for October 2077. So all calendars and clocks stopped when the war hit, even the more modern ones. So as you see, a nice view of my vault there, albeit a tad blurry. Let's go back down to the next level and then see if we can get a better view of it from up here. Possibly not. There we are. And a nice light and airy. I would like to tell you exactly how many lights I had to place in order for our vault to actually be this light. But I do love the place. This is now my main residence. The happiness, as I say, is at about 89, which is pretty decent. And at last count, I had about 30 settlers, which is pretty decent as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tour. I hope you guys liked the vault. As I say, couldn't resist putting this on my channel, really, even though it doesn't really fit in with anything else I've got. But I do love my creative builds. It took me hours and hours and hours to do this, but it was worth it. I loved it. So if you enjoyed the tour, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by hitting that like button. Also feel free, as ever with my videos, to leave me a comment. Share some screeners of your own vault possibly as well.
Pedaling?
Yeah, just keep pedaling, pal. That's fine. You're providing power to the vault. But not most of it, to be fair. And I hope you guys will check out what else I have on my channel. And until the next video, keep gaming, stay happy, and bye-bye for now.